Namaste, Jai Gurudev. The Ramayana has been such an inspiration from time immemorial. The stories from the Ramayana have inspired, have kindled devotion, and have enabled us to find solutions for our day to day problems. In the book Sita, Bhanumathi Narasimhan brings out this so beautifully and relates it to what we can do in our life practically. For example, the story of Hanuman. When Hanuman jumps over the ocean, reaches Sita, Sita asks him, "How come you were able to jump across the ocean so easily?" And Hanuman replies, "When the name of the Lord can help us to cross the ocean of samsara, what big ocean is this little body of water?" And for me, that is such a beautiful insight into how we can kindle devotion, how these aspects, these stories can really make a beautiful impact on us in our life currently. And I think this is the reason why stories like the Ramayana are beyond time. They can help us in whatever context, in whatever situation we are in. I would like to encourage each and every one of us to go through this wonderful book, wonderful compilation, and with the beautiful insights that Bhanumathi Narasimhan brings to this rendition of Sita, looking at the Ramayana through the eyes of Sita. To get a taste of this, here's a rendition of the 18th chapter, The Winds of Change, the Sundar Kand in English. Enjoy and buy the book for yourself or on Amazon.
Sita was sustained by her love for Rama in the silent core of her heart. This silence was broken for a moment. She looked around and saw Trijata patiently waiting and watching over her. It seemed as if she wanted to say something, but was waiting for Sita's permission to speak.
What is it, Trijata? There is something on your mind?
Yes, Sita. I had the most unusual dream. But I believe it is a foreboding of the coming of the Lord. I saw a Vanara burn down the whole city of Lanka. I saw legions of the Lankan army dissipating like waves receding into the ocean. I saw Ravana mounted on a donkey riding south. The entire city of Lanka was calling out the name of Ram, accompanied by drum beats. I tell you, this truth will come to pass in a few days, Sita. The time has come, Sita. I can feel it. I will proclaim it to all. Those who can may seek protection at the feet of Lord Ram.
Trijata was very excited. Sita's anticipation was also kindled. She couldn't help smiling at Trijata's optimism. Trijata was happy to have brought a smile to Sita's face.
You are tired, Sita. Rest now. We can talk tomorrow.
She ordered all the other Rakshasis to stand guard at a distance and leave Sita alone for the night. Trijata turned to leave but hesitated.
What is it, Trijata?
I noticed the blade of grass too, Sita. What kind of protection was that?
I prayed to Sati Anasuya, Trijata. She had told me that the power of a woman's chastity can turn a blade of grass into a bolt of lightning.
Trijata, having heard Sita, gently bowed her head in reverence and returned to her quarters. Sita was happy to be left alone. Once again, there was a rustle in the trees. It was not unusual to hear a few sounds here and there at night in the garden, but Sita felt a new presence. For some reason, it filled her with joy. She thought that perhaps she felt this way because she had been dreaming and thinking of Rama, but the presence grew stronger. She looked up into the branches of the Simsupa tree and her eyes caught sight of a tiny Vanara. The words of the saint in her dream and those of Trijata rang in her mind. As she gazed further at the little animal, she felt like she saw an orb of light that was gently pulsating and growing stronger. As the light grew bigger, it started resonating with a very pleasing sound, a sound that was dearer to her than life itself. The vibration of a sacred sound of her Lord's name was gradually filling her mind and the space around her. As it continued to emanate from that tiny Vanara, his entire being is filled with Rama, but does he know me? She wondered. The Vanara gently approached her and bowed to her feet. In its feeble voice, it said,
Jai Shri Ram.
The words soothed Sita's being like water to a parched desert nomad, and her eyes opened wide in amazement. This Vanara could talk.
Who are you, child?
I am Hanuman, dear mother, son of Vayu, the wind god, servant of Shri Ram.
Sita felt a sudden jolt of strength in herself and further inquired,
Hanuman, how did you reach this place? It is filled with Rakshasa gods. It is unsafe for a tiny Vanara like you. You must leave soon. But please tell me, what news do you have of my lord?
The Vanara jumped off the tree branch and suddenly his size increased to that of an adult human in a fraction of a moment.
I am not a tiny Vanara, mother. That was just a guise for me to search for you, unseen by these gods.
Sita could see him better now, but she was a little wary of shapeshifters. A doubt arose in her mind. Was he yet another Asura sent by Ravana to trick her again? He had a form that was half human and half monkey, just like the saint in her dream. But how would Ravana have known what came to her in her dream? Had he dreamt of such Vanaras too? Hanuman sensed that Sita was going back into her shell. He felt he had to reassure her of his intent. The Lord had anticipated this situation and given Hanuman his ring for this very reason.
Mother, please be assured that I speak the truth.
He took out the ring and handed it to Sita as a proof. She quickly took the ring in her hands and held it as if it gave her life. Its very touch was like a shower of nectar for Sita. She closed her eyes and felt the cool touch of the ring in her palms. A pleasant sensation went through her body, her breath stopped, and she heard her Lord's voice in her mind.
Beloved Sita, the waves in the ocean rise high again and again, longing to merge with the moon. The seeds on the branches of the cotton tree long for the wind to carry them to freedom. The delicate hibiscus shines a bright red as it yearns to share its nectar with the world. The entire planet rotates on its axis as every part of it longs to meet the sun. The river flows ceaselessly as it longs to dissolve in the ocean. The rain clouds gather here and there to quench the earth's thirst. A soul seeks a human body as it longs to become one with infinity. A newborn cries with its first breath as it longs to once again be with its mother. A lover pens poetry of endless love until he is reunited with his beloved. The divine manifests himself in human form as he longs to behold tears of blissful devotion. Yet all of this longing put together cannot come close to the magnitude of pain that this separation from you has caused me. With every passing moment, I move closer and closer to you. You who are always a part of me. Your Rama.
Rama's eyes opened with a start in the same instant that Sita heard the last of his voice resound in her being.
Sita has been found, Lakshmana,
He said with a joyful surge of energy. Sita's trust in Hanuman was complete now, and she longed to hear the news of her Lord.
My lord was aware of the importance of winning your trust, mother. He understands your situation. So, he told me of an incident that no one but you and he are aware of. He said that after the battle with the brothers of Shurpanakha, he knew that the time was near for the ultimate battle with the Rakshasas. He asked you to abide by the fire till the destruction was complete. The world knows not that you are beyond its reach, yet you experience everything as if it is real. Like the light that passes through the crystal reflects all the colors in the pure, undistorted form, yet leaves no stain on the crystal, in the same way, the pure form of energy that you are, you experience and express all the emotions to the fullest, but they leave no impression on you.
Sita felt completely relaxed upon hearing the words of Hanuman.
Hanuman, how does my lord manage his days? What are the brothers eating? Please, do tell me how you met him, how you found me, and when the Lord himself will arrive.
Yes, mother. It was easy for me to recognize you because I have seen this same yearning and pain in the Lord's eyes. All that is beautiful reminds him of you. While you are surrounded by the fire of negativity, his heart burns in the scorching fire of separation. Even the light of the moon is unbearable for him. At his command, Vanara troops have been sent to every corner of the planet in all directions by King Sugriva in search of you, mother. It is my greatest good fortune to be the one to have found you. When the Lord and Lakshman returned to the hut and were not able to find you, they were both shattered. They went out searching every nook and corner of the forest and chanced upon Jatayu, fallen on the ground.
I feel bad for Jatayu, Hanuman. He was such a dear friend. He lost his life trying to save me.
He lived the life of a true warrior and fought for Dharma. He showed Ravana that Ram is not alone. He showed him that his love for Lord Ram is far stronger than the fear of Ravana's powers. He did not give his life in vain. He breathed his last in the arms of the Lord after telling him of your abduction at the hands of Ravana. His soul is at peace now, mother. The Lord and Lakshman then proceeded in the southern direction and entered Kishkinda. As they were walking near the Rishamukh hills, Sugriv saw them and sent me to learn their identity. That was the sacred day when I first met the Lord. My heart knew instantly that serving him was the purpose of my very existence. Then Sugriv sent out the Vanara troops in search of you. Angad, Nal, Neel, Jambavan and I went in the southern direction with our army. All of us reached the shores of the ocean but were unsure as to how we would proceed any further. Many of us leap well, but to jump all the way across the ocean was unthinkable. But Jamban was very optimistic. He encouraged me to find a way. He reminded me of the blessings of all the devas that I had received as a child that were meant to come to my aid when it was really needed. And it was the right time now. I simply took the name of the Lord to invoke the strength and skills that were needed and jumped across the ocean. In spite of several obstacles on the path, I reached here safely.
You jumped across the ocean, Hanuman?
The Lord's name is my mantra, mother. When this small mantra is enough to help you cross over the ocean of life, then crossing this limited ocean is no big feat. Anyhow, now that I found you, I must teach a lesson to that wicked Rakshasa king before I leave. Mother, Is there anything you would like me to tell the Lord when I return?
No, Hanuman. The Lord knows my heart. But the world may demand proof. I will tell you of another incident which only my Lord and I witnessed.
Sita's mind drifted to that beautiful day in Panchavati. The weather was cool and pleasant. Rama had gone to the forest but had not returned by his usual time. Sita was wondering what was taking him so long and stepped out of the hut to see if he was perhaps anywhere nearby. Having looked around for a few minutes, she caught sight of him sitting by the river, bent over something. Whatever he was doing consumed all of his attention. He was completely engrossed in it. Although Sita was curious, she did not want to disturb him. She went back inside and continued with her work in the kitchen. After a while, she heard him approaching the hut. He was trying to walk in quietly as if he wanted to surprise her. Sita also played along and pretended that she did not realize that he had come in. However, she could not help smiling to herself. He came and stood just 1 foot behind her, and the fragrance in the room was overwhelming. Was it jasmine or champa or the Sugandha Raja? It even had a tinge of forest lily. So many fragrances at the same time. She closed her eyes as she breathed them all in deeply. She opened her eyes and turned around with a smile, eager to see what Rama had brought with him. He had a childlike gleam in his eyes. He had his palms held together, and as Sita turned, he gently parted his hands to reveal a string of wild flowers. There were many different flowers in diverse colors, strung together in an intricate flow.
Will you sit down, Sita?
He was not sure if she was free now or had to complete her cooking. But Sita was more or less done, and she was happy to oblige. He took out a wooden comb that he had fashioned out of the fallen branch of a fig tree and gently combed her hair. He then carefully braided her lovely silky locks with the flowers that he had brought. Sita sat in silence, enjoying the gentle touch of Rama's hands on her hair. Rama was totally absorbed in making a perfect braid. When he was done, he pushed a braid forward and turned around to admire his workmanship. He looked into her eyes and told her in his soft and deep voice,
Sita, these flowers looked beautiful when I saw them in the forest and while I was stringing them together. But when I look into your eyes, everything else fades against your beauty. There is nothing else that I can see.
Sita blushed and felt her cheeks turn pink. The moment was so complete, and there was no plan for the next one. So, with no particular intention, they started strolling together towards the river bank. There they sat by a rock and watched the flowing waters. All the searching in the forest for flowers must have tired Rama, for he quickly went off to sleep with his head in her lap. She sat without moving an inch. Sita rejoiced in the details of the memory of this event in her mind, but shared it in just one line with Hanuman.
One day, the Lord was resting his head in my lap by the river. At this time, a crow flew dangerously close, diving towards my feet and bit my toe. It was painful, but I did not flinch nor cry. My Lord was sleeping deeply. He rarely slept much, and I did not want to disturb him. I was not even bothered about the crow. I somehow swallowed the pain and sat immobile. After a few minutes, my Lord woke up, refreshed and relaxed, and was taken by surprise to see my bleeding toe. Before I could even explain, he plucked a blade of grass and in invoked the Brahmastra, set it upon the culprit. Within a few minutes, the crow came back and fell at my feet, seeking forgiveness and refuge. I looked at the wily bird and felt only compassion. Rama saw the look in my eyes and relented. The blade of grass blinded one of his eyes and spared him. The crow turned into a celestial. It was Jayanta, the son of Indra, who in his foolishness had thought to test the powers of the Lord by committing such a meaningless yet hurtful act. Remind my Lord of this incident and also give him this.
She handed him her beautiful round hairpin, her chudamani. Hanuman received the ornament with humility and grace and secured it carefully. He bowed to Sita and took her blessings.
You have my protection, Hanuman. No weapon, nor harsh words, nor earth, nor fire, nor water, nor wind will hurt you while you have the sacred name of the Lord in your heart. Go forth now and bring my Lord here soon.
Hanuman leapt into the trees, went to another part of the garden far from where Sita was, and created havoc. He uprooted the trees there, ate up all the mangoes, and threw the seeds on the heads of the guards. Soon he was throwing the guards themselves around like seeds. A battalion entered the garden to imprison the Vanara, but they all met with the same fate. News of the rebel Vanara reached Sita's enclosure too. The Rakshasi guards were all alarmed because Trijata's description of her dream was still clear in their minds. The Vanara was unstoppable. Soon, word reached them that Akshay Kumar, the son of the Lord of Lanka, had met his end at the hands of this intruder. His elder son Indrajit was now on his way. Indrajit was known in all the three worlds for his valor. He received this name after defeating Indra, the king of the gods, in battle. Sita prayed to the Divine Mother to protect Hanuman. Soon, word reached Sita that Indrajit had released the Brahmastra against Hanuman. However, it had bound him and caused no other harm. Hanuman was now being led to the main hall to face the king. He had anyway wanted to give a message to the Lord of Lanka. Sita smiled to herself, reflecting on Hanuman's skill and intelligence. An hour or so passed, after which the hoarse laughter of the Rakshasi gods caught her attention. Their joy did not bode well with Sita. Apparently, they were tying a cloth soaked in oil to the tail of the incorrigible Vanara, and soon he would be set on fire. They were laughing at what they imagined to be the plight of the Vanara. Sita was disturbed at the news and prayed to Agni, the god of the fire, to leave Hanuman unscathed. As evening flowed into night, the sky began to take on an eerie red glow. Distant screams from the city could be heard, even in this remote corner of the garden. The Rakshasi gods abandoned Sita and ran away, deeply troubled. Sita was not sure what was happening when, out of nowhere, Hanuman jumped down in front of her with a burning tail. Sita was alarmed at the sight.
The city of Lanka is on fire, Mother. Those who see the light will come to know of the Lord's coming. Those whose mind is focused on the ashes will stay here and meet the same end. Mother, come with me. I cannot bear to leave you here with these demons.
Not now, Hanuman. The glory of my Lord will be known to the world only when he defeats Ravana himself.
Bless me, Mother. I will return soon, following my Lord.
Hanuman kneeled in front of her and Sita raised her hand in blessings. He leapt up into the sky the next moment and was gone. The ocean was waiting to serve the Lord's devotee by putting off the flames. But her children in the skies held themselves back from showering the city. The fire of hunger may be satisfied by food, the fire of inquiry may be cooled by wisdom, the fire of desire may be quenched by faith, but the fire of longing is eternal in the soul. Sita saw smoke from the burning city rising up into the sky. The flames would consume everything in their path. The fire within her, fueled by the separation from her beloved, had consumed all other emotions, even fear, and had kept her going. What is it that even fire cannot touch? Reflected Sita. Fire itself and space. Her faith was the fire within that kept her going. The Rakshasi gods who returned the next day looked upon Sita with fear. Word had spread like wildfire that the lady imprisoned in the garden had brought this misfortune upon the golden city. Why does the king not send her away? Are there not enough women of beauty among the celestials? Why does he seek the favors of a mere mortal? Said a faceless voice among the people. I am not certain she is ordinary, for no simple woman can withstand the Lord of Lanka the way she has, said another voice in the crowd. Trijata shared these growing concerns of the people with Sita. She had no misgivings about them, but they suffered for the choices their king made with regard to her. It was now a matter of days before her lord would come. How will he cross the ocean though? His devotee took his name and came across. But what will my beloved do? Thought Sita, as she resolved with renewed courage to wait some more.